Hey, welcome to ShareTreck. Good morning if you're in North America, and good evening if you're in Asia or maybe Australia. So that said, let's get started for the week. And I have a few things I wanted to discuss about. The first thing is that in terms of market overview, stocks are set to open higher this morning. As you can see in the futures out here, S&P 500 is up 37.5 and Nasdaq futures is up 103.75, actually 184.75. So those are all healthy points that it is up by. But I suspect that this is going to be a dead cat bounce, and later on I'll explain why when I do the trading view platform. But I think global investors are remaining hopeful of US interest rate cuts following last Friday's weaker than expected job report. The S&P 500, Nasdaq, and Dow are all green in pre-market trading, as you can see in the chart right now, with tech and biotech shares leading. In terms of global markets, Asian and European shares are rising. The mood has improved as US rate cut expectations gain traction and commodity prices start to hold steady. I have scanned the major headlines, and the things that caught my attention are that the global stocks are climbing on bets that the US Federal Reserve will increase pressure and it will start to feel increased pressure and it will begin easing rates. After job growth slowed more than expected in July 1st, investors see this as a pivotal sign. Now, friends, this is where I would like to explain my own learning. I had anticipated that things would go bad for almost 3 months. I have been saying that the fundamentals are not looking good. Then we had the bearish divergence for quite a while. And it's only today that we can see that it's been corrected. So the lesson basically is that it's not only important that you know what is the right thing, but also the market has to realize that. Otherwise, the market will stay crazy for a longer time and it will not work. And at the same time, if the market knows what it is and you don't know, then also you end up losing. So at this point of time, what I'm thinking when I'm looking at the interest rate scenario is that I'm still working on a video, a new idea to look at how stagflation was conquered before. If my memory serves me correct, when we had stagflation in the US much earlier, at that time, the interest rate was kept very low for a long period of time, trying to stimulate employment, but it did not work. Finally, they had to take the bitter pills of increasing the interest rates and curbing the demand in order to bring everything back to sync. And I'm thinking that's what is going to happen this time also, if not immediately, but eventually to capture the market back into some kind of a equilibrium once it goes into stagflation. Then the question you'll ask is, why do you talk about stagflation? I'm talking about stagflation because employment data is soft. And even if you don't consider this inflation, a one-time increase in price of all the commodities by an average of 15% is going to mean that the base has also increased. So in future, if inflation rate remains the same, still the amount of money people actually pay is going to be much higher, right? So the value of the dollar is going down because they have to give more dollars to buy the same thing. And on top of it, if the Fed was to do quantitative easing by reducing the interest rates, it's only going to add fuel to fire. So on one end, you have got employment going down. On the other end, you have got the price gone up. So the Fed has to make a choice. Now, Trump is screaming from the rooftops that I want you guys to reduce the interest rate. So sooner rather than later, a Fed governor is going to reduce interest rates. And when they reduce interest rates, it's going to add to the inflation. And that's the thing I'm looking at. And potentially that's going to increase the smuggling into the United States. We had seen that in India. When I was younger, I was in India. I was growing up in India and we had heavy tariffs, even on gold and everything. So the smuggling was taking place big time. Smugglers used to be in contraband and they used to sell it underground black market. And therefore, no tax was collected on those sales. And the gray economy grew very big. And the central bank could not control the economy because the proportion of black economy was much higher than the legitimate white economy. Therefore, It was called black market. It was called white market. Between the two of them, the federal or central bank could not manage. So I'm thinking, based on all those lessons, that the eventual solution here would be. Give me 1 second. I have been told by YouTube Studio that my resolution is not being supported. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into my studio stream and try to change the resolution so that you guys can see it properly. Please bear with me for 1 minute. I'm going to change the video resolution. Studio, open the studio, and resolution, output stream. Where do I do this? Open the widget, stream settings. Okay, I don't know how to do this. Let me just look at the stream settings and see if I can change this. Okay. Settings, enable closed caption. It's you have poor. Okay, I'm going to just restart this stream. Please bear with me. I'm back again. Okay, I'm back again. Let's keep moving, and let me finish off my initial overview. So there is this interest rate cut hope, which I think is false, but it will happen because the pressure to reduce the interest rate is quite high, and that's not going to solve the problem. They're looking for market turbulence. Now, unless the market agrees with me, I'm going to be at a loss, but I'm just sharing my thoughts with you. In terms of tariff watch, Canada's economy shows resilience against aggressive US tariffs, according to the Bank of Canada governor. And reports from Malaysia and other Asian exporters describe increasing strain as US tariffs ripple through global supply chains, affecting solar, electronics, and auto components. The market is anxiously awaiting White House updates on further rounds of tariffs against other trading partners. This week's earnings schedule features major names like Palantir, Vertex, AMZN, and more. So, of course, this is not the Mag 7 reporting, but still, if they have a bright future outlook, that's going to help a lot for the market sentiment. And pre-market gainers are BioXcel Therapeutics and Oriental Rise, but these are all stocks that we do not follow. I don't see any of our follows, our stocks that we follow coming higher in the pre-market gainer range. But pre-market top stories are that Tower Semiconductor, Axiom Therapeutics, and Crystal Biotech have reported strong earnings beats, but BioNTech and TG Therapeutics disappointed with their results. So the ones that disappointed are likely to see their stocks fall. The ones that were that reported strong beats, they will have a raise in the stock price, but then I think there'll be profit taking and they'll come down same way that we saw for other stocks because valuations are quite stretched. And Boeing's St. Louis Mechanist Union is set to strike. 3,200 workers would walk out after failing to reach a contract deal. This introduces new risk of for aerospace manufacturing and defense supply chains. And there are a few other trending topics. The consumer's impact of tariffs is starting to show, with reports of higher prices filtering through to retail shelves in the US. And tech's focus on AI defense. Silicon Valley giants like Google, OpenAI, Meta are investing heavily in military applications, signaling a new phase for the industry. And in terms of US factory orders, this is the key economic data we are talking about. In terms of US factory orders, forecasters see approximately minus 4.9% change for June, after major volatility in prior months. And other global data releases include Brazil's payroll and auto reports and European construction PMIs. So we'll see those things will come around 8:30 in the morning. And yeah, so that's what I have for you guys. And let's go on to the TradingView platform and get started with looking at our indices. And the first order of business is to make sure that we go into a single window time frame. And we are in the 3-minute time frame out here. So I'm going to move into a 1-day time frame, recalibrate the chart, and then we are ready to go. So out here, what we are seeing is that we have had a steady drop. We went out here and touched this diagonal line of resistance and got pushed down. And we have a resistance at 6,374. And then we had converted this line of support of 6283.00 into a line of resistance the previous day. But this morning, we have broken through it and converted it back into support. So our support for today is going to be 6,283. If we fall down below that, then our support is going to be 6,201. And you will see that our bearish divergence has been wiped out. So I'm no longer worried about the bearish divergence. And we like to see how the market proceeds today. My personal opinion is that this is a dead cat bounce. There are people who think that we have had a huge drop. Let us just measure how much percentage points we have lost from our peak. So we have lost around 2.80%. I think this is very small amount of loss, but there are so-called bottom fishers who are probably buying this. But I'm thinking this rally is not going to last. We got some more corrections to come because the tariff realities are biting in and showing in the economic data. So I'm thinking that it's going to come down further. So I would say that we are definitely challenging 6198.25 for today as a support. And let's go on to NASDAQ. Again, bearish divergence has been wiped out, all clear. So not worried about that any longer. Our resistance is going to be 23,426. I'm going to change that into a red color line. And our support for today is going to be 27,707.5 for NASDAQ futures. And as I mentioned, the bearish divergence is gone, so things are looking better now. And we'll have to see whether we continue to move upward. I think not, because I think this is a dead cat bounce, and we are likely to come back down again. And if we fall below this diagonal line of support, then the next support is going to be at 21,891.75 today. I don't expect us to fall so steeply today, but the movement, I think, is definitely going to be downwards. Dollar index is up 0.10% after a steep drop. And we have a resistance at 99.197. So I'm going to mark this out here. And the 10-year yield is up 0.14%. 20-year yield is up 0.807%. And 30-year is up 0.27%. So when I look at the long-term bond yields, I'm thinking that the investors who had bought bonds earlier and they manage again, because as the yields drop, the price of the bond goes up and you make a capital gain out there, and it's your choice whether you want to sell the bond and take the money. So there could be a bit of a profit taking happening out there, because of which the bond prices are going down a little bit, which is the inverse of what we saw in the stocks. And therefore, I'm thinking that the yields are going up marginally, but that again will start coming down again, because we have this reverse head and shoulders and the prospect of Fed doing a rate cut in response to the weak employment numbers. And if the Fed actually does the rate cut, then it will come down. And you know my personal feeling. I think that rate cut is not a good idea at this point of time. I think that the inflation has to be controlled. The past record, I'll make a separate video to show you actual facts and statistics from the United States. The past record of taming stagflation was by increasing interest rates to a punishing extent, so that the economy could be calmed down, and then they start reducing the rates gradually to bring everything back to normal. I think that would be needed, but as always, we will not do the right thing until all the wrong thing that we do fail. The wrong thing to do would be to reduce the interest rates. So I'm not going to fight against the market. I think the rates are going to go down, and we'll come back to this at a later date when the market is more in tune with my kind of opinion. That said, let us go and look at the indicators. S&P 500 today has got a resistance at somewhere around. This is going to be the resistance. We are 6,287.34. This is the first level of resistance, and I'm going to mark this red because this is the resistance, and our support is out here at 6,147.90. If we open this market higher, as the futures indicate, and manage to break through this resistance, then our next resistance for today is going to be 6,352.66. I'm going to take away all the bearish divergences because they no longer exist. They have been wiped out. So that's gone. And you can see that our sentiment has turned bearish. It would end up being neutral today if we go positive on S&P 500. And in NASDAQ, I'm going to take away the bearish divergence. It's gone. I'm going to take away all the markings out there. Again, sentiment is bearish. MACD is bearish. Momentum has dropped to average. So NASDAQ also is looking weak. And I think the support for NASDAQ today is going to be 22,748.62. And the resistance is going to be 23,282.43. VIX is down this morning, indicating a bit of calm, which is basically good for the stocks. Gold is up 0.19% despite the fact that the dollar index is up. That shows a little bit of uncertainty. And the statement, the action by Trump to fire the BLS chief may have something to do with the price of gold steady upwards despite the dollar becoming a little bit stronger. So that's what I'm thinking. And QQQ is indicating that we're going to open positive. It's up 0.76% in pre-market trades. It's at 558.06, and it's going to have a diagonal line of resistance, providing resistance today. And the resistance today is going to be at 563.87. So that's the lay of the land this morning. And put call ratio is still almost neutral. And let's go on to AI. Okay, there you have AI. NVDA is going to be up. Yes, NVDA is up 1%. It's the net beneficiary of all the investments that the Max 7 is going to do. And other companies which are not Max 7, which we will not talk about it, but they're definitely spending on AI. All of that is going to NVIDIA. And remember, they have permission to sell in China. The only constraint for them is the production capacity. So the revenue is for NVIDIA to take. The price is for NVIDIA to set up. And the only consideration they have from being totally ruthless is to prevent AMD from taking the market share and to continue to build a moat around them so that they can be the undisputed top leader. And I'm sure Jensen Huang will play it very well. I wish I had NVIDIA in my stock. I have taken profits, sold everything, but I'm not buying today. I'm going to wait for the market to go down further, and I'll buy in later on. I don't think we are seeing the end of the dip as yet. So that's my bet. I would like to hear from you guys what you think. Put it in the comment section. Because in the past also we had come down for 3 days and then gone back up again. But I'm thinking that this time it's going to be going down. Meta is up 1.01% in pre-market trades, and we have support. And we have Meta. Sorry about that. We have Meta, which is up 1.01%, and Meta is going to have a resistance, I think, somewhere around 773.39. That's where I think Meta will face resistance, and it's going to have support at 737.78. So that's the range I see for Meta. You will see that the bullish sentiment is trying to come back again. The sentiment is still bearish, but it's almost close to neutral. And looking at the pre-market action, I think that will go slightly into the bullish side today, but I am not expecting it to persist. As I mentioned earlier, Google is up 0.47%. It has gone above where it opened yesterday. So that's a very good sign. But it's definitely facing some resistance out here. I'll just draw this minor line of resistance here to illustrate what we are looking at. This is the orange line that I'll put here. So the line of resistance out here for us is at around 191.34. Right now we are at 190.85. If we break through with this, then our next resistance is going to be at 193.73. Then we have Amazon. Amazon is up 1.14%. It's opened at the level that it opened yesterday. So that's a good sign, but it's going to face some resistance, and that resistance is going to come in out here. So let me show you the resistance that I think it's going to have. And move this a little up. I'm just fine tuning it. Now, this is the resistance for today, and it's going to be at around 219.27. And our support for today is going to be 207.61. Apple is up 0.70% today, and it's going to have a resistance at 207.21. Right now, it's at 203.79, and its support is going to be 198.54. Microsoft is up 0.70% in pre-market trades. The diagonal line of support shows support at around 521.34. Right now, we're at 527.70. Then, of course, we have Tesla, which is up 2%. But I don't think there is anything in support for Tesla. It's just a dead cat bounce, in my opinion. And we still have support at 297.55. I'm pretty sure that Tesla is likely to keep those gains and come back down again and test the support at 298.26. Sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, momentum is below average. It's just a crazy pre-market action, in my opinion. Then Oracle, of course, is up 5.52%. It has got a gap down, which it will try to fill. But the pre-market action hasn't mustered enough confidence to open above the last trading day's open. And therefore, I think that the strength and conviction is not there. And that's the case with many of the stocks that we saw, which are showing positive. Next, we look at AMD, which has gone up. It's opened way above where it opened in the previous trading day. And the diagonal line of support is going to provide support at 171.86. And we have SMCI, which is up 2.56% in pre-market trades. And 55.93 is going to be our level of support today. And our resistance is going to be at around 62.27. Broadcom is up 1.07%. Our support, which is at 291.12, will remain the support for today because pre-market we are at 291.74, above that. So I'm going to mark this green. And I think our resistance for today is going to be 303.33 for Broadcom. Palantir is up smartly 1.90%, still above, way above the diagonal line of support. And the diagonal line of support is going to provide support today at around 145.70. And remember, friends, we have a price target of 175.46. Whether it will happen or not is something that I'm anxiously watching. Our previous target of 161.25 is about to be met. And if I was to draw a straight line from here, I think we almost touched that sometime recently, but we have not had a topping tail as such so far. So I'm still hopeful that we'll meet this target, and then we'll start aiming for 176.05 if everything else has not got crazy by that time. Now, SMH is up 0.86% in pre-market trades, and we still have a resistance today at around 286.40, which is the diagonal line of resistance that we see out there. And then that's about it. Then I'm going to go and have a look at Genomics. I'm thinking of making a video on Prime. They have got a very good tie-up and millions of dollars from a institution for cystic fibrosis. So it's a captive business transaction. So that's one good thing. So I'm going to write about that. They also raised some funding. So they're flush with money right now. So I'll do a little video on Prime, probably anytime during this week. I have a whole lot of watch list for me to do, but I keep forgetting because I have other things that I'm working on. So I've started putting them into a small checklist. Also, one of our viewers have been asking for a particular company twice. And after the live stream is over, I'm not able to find his comment. So I'm going to ask them if they are on the live stream right now. I think I would like them to put the name of that company again. And this time I'll copy it before the chat window is closed, and I'll have that for you. So my apologies for that. Hotdog is on the chat right now, and Hotdog is agreeing with my Hotdog is agreeing with my opinion that the interest rates might go up, etc., etc. Thanks, Hot Dog. Thanks for sharing your thoughts on that. Let me get back into the trading view platform and continue my analysis. And Intel is up 2.61%. But guys, all of this is in sympathy with the dead cat bounce that I think we are seeing in our overall index. So this will all be vaporware ready to vanish unless there is some solid information that is available. We have news out here. Caribou Biosciences Inc. expected to post a loss of 39 cents a share. Earnings are coming up, I think, on the 12th of August. So I don't know why this bounce is there for Caribou Biosciences, but it still has support at 1.91. And next, let's look at Beam Therapeutics. It's up 1.22%. And we have a resistance out here at 19.06, and pre-market we are also on 19.06. So I think even if I look at this as a double top and project target for where it should be, I think if I take this and bring it down here, which is the neckline, and then I pick up this and put it out here, then I think we should be going up to 16.34 for Beam. So I would expect that we are going to challenge our support at 17.44 in the near future. Altimmune is up 0.55%. This has been a disappointing stock for me. I'm still having a marginal amount, but I made profits. If I sell now, my profits will be negated completely. I'm going to hold on for a little while and see what happens. It's a very small stake. Editas is up 0.82% after a steep fall. I would attribute that to a little bit of a dead cat bounce. I want a real catalyst to come out, and the real catalyst can come out when we have the earnings. So if we get some good news in the earnings today, we are supposed to get it today according to TradingView, and if it comes out, there is some catalyst in terms of therapy or something, or some milestones being met and payment being received, then you can see a little bit of a correction or improvement or a trend change out here. Otherwise, we are just following this diagonal line of support, and we are going to test this support, and this is the only thing that's going to give a bounce back for us. Illumina is up 1.26% in pre-market trades after falling 7.84% yesterday. So if someone is bullish on Illumina and lost the opportunity like I did, I would be waiting to buy into it. We have a minor line of support that I have drawn out here at around 94.80 today. That's going to be the support for today. And the resistance for today is 103.19. Pre-market, we are at 95.85. But as far as I am concerned, I'm going to wait until we come closer to 90.81 before getting into it. And the question is, Raj, why do you think it will come down? I think if the overall market is going to go down, then Illumina cannot defy the overall market. It's also going to come down. And that will be the best opportunity to buy from a long-term perspective, not a swing trade or anything, but from a long-term perspective. Because Illumina, when it multiplies, when the market improves, I believe Illumina will go up at least twice from where it is right now, based on its past track record. So that's what I'm thinking. CRSP Therapeutics is up 1.09%. Again, for long-term investors of CRSP Therapeutics, these could be opportunities to buy. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm looking at this regression channel which we have, which has been coming to us all the way from, please bear with me. This is going to be 1st of April 2024. On April Fool's Day 2024, we created this channel which may or may not fool us. But so far it has worked well. Yesterday we touched the channel, we bounced back up again. I want to see if we get back into this channel. Once we get back into this channel, I think there are going to be 3 major points that I'll be watching. The first point is this diagonal line of support from before. If this works, then we'll see a bounce back, and then this will become a resistance, the upper edge of this regression channel. So that will be one play. If we break down below this, then this is going to be a support. And if we break down below that, then this will be a support, the median. And there are times when we have gone up and then we have come down. So that's a whole range of possibilities for CRSP Therapeutics. Remember, we have to get cash-heavy numbers and forward-looking statements which support the same kind of growth. But if you have tariff-related discomfort, if you have tariff-related price increases, the disposable income and the ability to afford a $2 million treatment is going to be curbed to a certain extent, and that could curtail the growth of sickle cell disease therapies, TDT therapies. And in that sense, the share of CRISPR's market share from that decreasing pie is also likely to reduce. If we don't see that in the earnings call, in that forward-looking statement, we are good. But if we see any hint of that, then you expect the price to come down. So I personally wouldn't be buying right now. Again, guys, these are all my personal thoughts and opinions based on my own experience, limited experience with technical analysis and fundamentals, and over a decade of trading as a retail trader. I would like to hear from you, your experience. Please share that in the comment section so that we can mutually get better, learning from each other's experiences. Let's look at Allogene, which is up 5.56% in pre-market trade. Then it has got a resistance at 1.36. Grail is up 3.39%. It has got support at 31.85, and it has got a resistance at 40.93. PSEM is up 3.01%, and it has a resistance at 1.47. This is 1.44 is where the resistance is for today. I'm going to change this into a red color. And ARCG is up 1.00%. Support continues to be at 22.89. Resistance continues to be at 24.62. And that's about it, my friends. I would like to go and have a look at Precision and see if there is anything at all happening. Precision is up 2.40%. Not bad, not bad. I'd like it to go further up. I want it to go somewhere near 1.93 or 1.94 in the next few days. And I'm going to hold it until the third week of this month, which is when we are going to get our FDA approval for their skin therapy. Now, I want to go in and have a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is, so I'm back into crypto. I have bought Ripple. I've bought around 500 Ripple. And I want to check out the cryptocurrency just for my sake. And if you guys are not interested, you can drop off. I'll just quickly do a recap out here. So Bitcoin seems to be looking like it's forming a bear flag. This is a bear flag in formation. It's a bearishness. We'll see what happens when the market opens. I mean, if the stock market goes down, Bitcoin acts in simpatico. Pre-market, the stock market is going up. Bitcoin is simpatico. It's going up. So I'm thinking that there will be opportunities to buy Bitcoin at a much lower price. So it's likely to turn down again because sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, momentum is below average. So those are all the things that I look at. Then I want to look at XRP. Where is XRP? XRP CAD. And we have XRP USD. No, I have XRP CAD. I use XRP Canadian dollars. So we have a bear flag which got materialized, and now we are creating another bear flag. This bear flag could take it further down, but if it was to go at least 50% above this current flagpole for the bear flag, then I think it has a good opportunity to go up. Sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, momentum is average. There's a chance that Ripple might consolidate a little bit, but everything depends on the stock market because Bitcoin seems to be correlated to the stock indices. Stock indices go down, Bitcoin goes down, then XRP, everything else goes down along with it. That's the story. So friends, that brings me to an end of today's session, and I'll catch up with you guys again in the next one. Bye for now.